In 2022, there were 500 hours of video uploaded to YouTube every minute. So you can imagine that getting attention amongst that entire onslaught of content is challenging. Your tools for doing that, at least on the YouTube platform, are your thumbnail and title. And so we're going to go over how to attract your viewers' attention. There are 3 things that we need to work on before we upload a video that really are going to determine the entire future of our video. There is a thumbnail, there is a title, and there is a description. The thumbnail is the image that people see when they browse YouTube to try to figure out what videos to watch. The title is the text that goes under that thumbnail. And then the description is once they click on the video and they're watching it, that's the text that's underneath that they can go to see. That's going to give them more information about the video. Each one of these 3 has an important part in viewer engagement. Now, I want to start off by saying that nobody really knows everything about how YouTube works. Even the engineers who create the algorithm are constantly being surprised and have to adjust the algorithm because YouTube is kind of so big and is made up of billions of people that trends take off with nobody understanding why. And then they die with nobody understanding why. So when presenting these 3 components, I'm going to be presenting it with a very basic strategy. Once you get the strategy down, you'll be able to effectively get your videos out there. And there are a myriad of videos who want to speculate on what the algorithm is doing and how you can game the system. But I'll leave that as a graduate exercise for you. Right now, let's stick with the basics. So with these 3 components, thumbnail, title, and description, I want you to think about them this way. First of all, the thumbnail is what attracts people's attention. As you're browsing in YouTube, you get that avalanche of thumbnails. Your job is for your thumbnail to be able to attract the right kind of viewer who wants the kind of content you're producing. And so your thumbnail's job is to take that split second of scrolling by to catch the viewer's eye. A good thumbnail will make the viewer stop, take a look at the title, and the title's job is to let them know that, yes, this video is the video you're looking for. At that point, they're going to click on your video, and your video's job is to keep them watching for as long as possible, and then at the end, leave them wanting more information, which is what will be in your description. So, thumbnail catches their eye, the title reels them in, the video delivers, and then the description gives them more ways that they can support you or interact with your content. So let's explore these 3 elements in detail. Thumbnails are absolutely critical. You could make the best video in the world, but without a good thumbnail, nobody's going to stumble across it and watch it. The thumbnail is your marketing, the trailer to your movie. They are so important, in fact, that YouTubers will get ideas for video. They'll make a big list of videos. And then before any filming goes on, they will actually make the thumbnails for all of those ideas. And then they will film the videos that they think that they've got good thumbnails for. Mr. Beast is a wildly successful YouTuber, and he reportedly spends $10,000 per thumbnail. And he may buy 20 thumbnails just to make sure he's got the best one and test them all. So you can see what a critical part of your video outreach the thumbnail plays. Now, it's a heck of a lot of pressure for us to say, okay, now everything relies on this thumbnail. I don't know if it's good news or not, but nobody knows the magic formula. I mean, there's videos all over the place telling you how to create a thumbnail that'll make your video go viral. But I got to tell you, if people really knew how to do it, Mr. Beast wouldn't have to buy 20 thumbnails. He'd just get the one thumbnail that's going to work. Now, there are some basics of what makes a good thumbnail, and we'll go over those. But YouTube is a dynamic platform, just like all of our social media platforms are. And what works with the audience, there are some basics, but once something works with the audience, then everybody piles on, and then the audience gets tired of it because everybody's doing it, and then somebody does something else, and that gets popular because it's different. So we're playing on a very dynamic game board. But here's your basics for a thumbnail. First of all, we're looking for an image that's a 16:9 aspect ratio. Now, you don't have to know what that means. It's essentially 1920 pixels by 1080 pixels. This could also be 1280 pixels by 720 pixels, but if you go with the higher resolution, it's going to look better on higher resolution screens, which is where a lot of people are watching YouTube these days. And as for graphics, you're looking for bright colors or high contrast, essentially things that would be noticed from a distance. Remember, they're going to be seeing a very small thumbnail, and so whatever you put in there has to be simple enough that it can be seen easily. And this means minimal text. People aren't going to be sitting and reading your thumbnail. Leave that for the title. You can put text in your thumbnail, but remember, you've only got a split second of attention for them to decide that they want to give you another split second. Thing is, if you have all that text in your thumbnail, you need that extra split second for them to read all of that text, and whether they're going to do it or not, or just jump over to the cute kitten video that's on the next thumbnail, you have to decide. And how much is too much? There really isn't a guideline. What I would do is go to YouTube and deliberately browse. Just take a look at the sea of thumbnails, see what catches your eye, see how much text you can actually read, but not only can read, but how much are you willing to read? You've essentially got two types of searches. One is that somebody's actually searching for a specific term, which if your video matches that term, you may have a couple of extra split seconds as they're deciding which video is going to help them unclog their drain. But more and more people are just browsing and letting YouTube give them a bunch of suggestions. And in that case, you're competing with everyone else for attention. Another thing that works well is dramatic human expressions. Essentially, you're telling the viewer what kind of emotion they're going to get from watching this video. Is it a surprise? Or is it a sad video? If you have your face on the thumbnail showing that emotion, you're communicating to the viewer what kind of emotion they're going to get by watching this video. But overall, we react to human emotion. And so that's why you see these overly dramatic facial expressions on YouTube thumbnails. Now, we've been talking about ways of getting attention. And whenever we start thinking about strategies, we tend to go overboard. You need to make sure that whatever you put on this thumbnail accurately represents what they're going to find in the video. Because although click-through rate, which is how many people see your video and how many people click your video, that is an important metric. It shows how effective your thumbnail is, but YouTube also measures watch time. So if somebody clicks that thumbnail, how long do they watch the video? That tells them how accurate you are. I mean, anybody can put together a thumbnail with a supermodel holding a puppy saying, "Get rich in 30 days." That thumbnail may get a whole lot of clicks, but if your video is about baking chocolate chip cookies and there's no supermodels, puppies, or get rich quick schemes, then the watch time is going to be very low and YouTube is going to push your video down because you have a deceptive thumbnail. So yes, you can kind of clickbaity it a bit. And yes, clickbait means you have a dramatic thumbnail or you're pulling people in through the thumbnail, but when they get in, they don't get what they expect. In dating world, this is called catfishing. So make sure your thumbnail represents what the video is about. So use all of these tactics: bright colors, contrast, human expression, text that hooks our attention, but make sure it represents what you're making a video about. Now, if your thumbnail is awesome, you may get an immediate click for them to watch your video. But let's assume that that split second of thumbnail just gets you another split second where they're going to read the title to verify that what they thought about your video from the thumbnail is correct. The title is where we're going to hook them. And when we say hook, that means grab attention. And that's the difference between me having a title that says "A Walk in the Park" versus "You'll Never Believe What I Found at the Park." Obviously, one of them is much more dramatic and reels you in. Oh my goodness, what did he find at the park? I can't wait to find out. That is called a hook. And you'll notice that people are really good at hooks. And I think the viewers are getting tired of so many hooks. So who knows where we're going to go with this. So the way you word your title can push them over the edge to where they will click and watch your video. And then we get to a description. This is a body of text that you have under the video as it's playing. And this is where you can put information about what's in the video or calls to action as to what you would like the viewer to do next. This is where you can take people and send them to your website. This is where you can list your affiliate links. So if I talked about a certain product, I can put the affiliate link down in the description. And so as a general rule, I like to word my descriptions as if my video was successful in getting them interested in what I had to say and they wanted to know more. So the question is, do you have a plan for if somebody loves the video that they just watched or wants to know more? What are you going to do with that energy? You don't necessarily have to have an answer for that right now, but just think about, once you start getting a fan base and they want more, how are you going to give that to them? When you figure that out, that's what goes in the description. So let's go ahead and do an example. Say I want to do a video on chocolate chip cookies. I have a great recipe that I love, and I want to make a video sharing that. So unfortunately, that mean Bill guy said that I can't use my supermodel holding a puppy and talking about get rich quick schemes. So I'm going to have to do a thumbnail that's going to represent what I'm making. Now, I want this thumbnail to be as appealing as possible and get people's attention. What better way to get people's attention than a wonderful picture of a chocolate chip cookie? And you know what? If I get a picture of a chocolate chip cookie that's just come out of the oven so you can tell that the chocolate chips are still a little bit soft and maybe a little runny, that is the ultimate time to eat a chocolate chip cookie. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a thumbnail that's going to have a close-up of a chocolate chip cookie that is just out of the oven. And I'm going to focus on that chocolate chip, which is just melted just a little bit because I want to grab that memory that we all have of getting a chocolate chip when it's just out of the oven. And I know I don't have a whole lot of room for text like saying the best chocolate chip cookie recipe in the world. Really, what I want to do is just get them interested enough in this that they're going to go take a look at the title. So maybe my text I can have just in the corner saying chocolate ecstasy. Although that doesn't say exactly what this video is about, that this is actually a recipe for them, I think that is enough elements to make somebody go, oh boy, this looks good. I at least want to check out and see what's up here. And they can do that because it only takes a split second to look at the title. So they're not really investing a whole lot of time. They look at the title. I could hook them with the best chocolate chip cookie in the world, but I'm going to go ahead and latch onto that memory of theirs, that memory of having the family over for the holidays. And I'm going to call it your new chocolate chip cookie holiday tradition recipe. What I want to communicate is that this recipe is so good that it's going to become a holiday tradition that your family is going to ask for year after year. So, my goodness, I want to make this video now. That's good. But that's what you're trying to do. The great thing is that this isn't clickbait because I have what I believe is the greatest chocolate chip cookie recipe, and I'm going to give it to them in this video. And so every part from the thumbnail to the title to the description, which will have the printout of the recipe that I'm going to show in the video, every single one of those elements delivers on the promise that I made in that first thumbnail. Chocolate chip cookies. It's really easy to work with chocolate chip cookies because so many people have all of those memories built up. It may be a little bit more difficult when I'm making a video on how to provide the proper UVB levels for a chameleon cage. You can imagine how challenging that may be to put together a thumbnail that is engaging. UVB? Yeah, that doesn't work so well. So sometimes, especially I do a lot of educational videos, sometimes it's really hard to grab on to the base of what makes us human beings. But I'm giving you these examples so you know what to shoot for. The bottom line is that your thumbnail and your title are the keys to the success of your video. They are worth giving attention to them before you even make the video. In fact, the other videos that are on this channel, those came from a list of 10 videos that I could make. And what I did is I sat down and I made 5 to 10 thumbnails of each one of those ideas. And my favorite thumbnails were the videos that I made. So it really is that important, and I recommend that you do that. The exception to that is when you have a certain tutorial and a certain chronology that you want for your videos, like this series that we've got right here. I've got 20 episodes, and each one of these 20 episodes is strategically determined and has a place. And so I've got to make these 20 episodes and then figure out a thumbnail that will go to them. So if you're doing an educational series, you have to take into account that perhaps you don't get to decide what you're going to do based on when you've got an awesome thumbnail. And just like everything else that we're doing, everybody's situation is going to be unique in what they're trying to accomplish. So take these truths and apply them as is appropriate. When we come back from the halftime, I'm going to open up my free graphics program and show you how to make that chocolate chip cookie thumbnail that we've been talking about. And I'll be doing it on the free version of Canva that any of you can go and use right now.
Hey, here's me walking back to my car. It's getting a little crazy at the park. Sometimes there's just a small window of opportunity to film. All right, that wasn't as easy as I thought it was. This is my second time. I probably sound like a robot, but you know what? I did it. So now to put it all together and see how it goes. My little secret spot to film is getting a little crowded. Kids playing, I don't know, people wanting to talk. No, it's time for me to go. See you soon, everybody.
All right, we're back for the halftime. So you had a day of filming.
Yes, I did.
Please tell us what it was like.
Well, there was a lot of procrastination involved, but that's okay.
I remember that.
Yes. It went okay, but I do know that through time or with time, it'll get better. I went somewhere to do the talking head, etc., and it was really interesting for me to be talking into my phone, repeating. It was hilarious, but
yeah. Let's start off. What kind of what equipment did you use?
Bluetooth microphones, and I used my iPhone and a tripod.
Okay.
That's all I used.
All right. And so you started talking about the experience about repeating.
Oh, there was a lot of repeating and a lot of talking to myself, just a lot of self-talk. And I still have to, of course, edit, make some sense out of it. It was getting my YouTube feet, I guess you could say.
But am I correct that you filmed the entire video?
Yes, I did. And hopefully I don't have to refilm.
All right. Well, what is the next steps?
Well, the next steps are editing. I have to go put the clips together, edit the clips, and then put it together. I have to assemble it to make it seem like I'm telling a story. And as I was doing this, I realized, I hope I'm using the same tone of voice each time I did each clip. So that'll be interesting.
All right. And I haven't seen all this stuff yet, so
I can't comment. Nothing.
So I'm learning about it as you are. Mm-hmm. Tomorrow's going to be a busy day for you.
Yeah, it's going to be so busy. And so we're just going to make the magic happen. That's how it's going to go.
You're all seeing the behind the scenes.
Oh my gosh, boy. Yeah. You'll see behind the scenes, I'm sure of it.
All right. Well, that's an accomplishment, and that calls for another high five. All right. We'll see you next time. All right, folks, welcome back. I'm going to show you a free and easy to use graphics editing program that is browser-based. It's called Canva, and you can find it at canva.com. So I'm going to go ahead and go to canva.com. All right, now I'm going to be using the free version. I actually have the professional version. It's $15 a month, or if you pay the entire year, it's $120, one-time fee for the year, and you get a lot of extra assets and pictures and features. But I'm going to be showing you on the free version so you can evaluate it and see if it's going to serve your purposes. Now, since it's a free version, we're going to be getting a lot of invitations to do a free trial and all that kind of stuff, and that does get annoying. I recommend if you decide that this is working for you, just get the Pro version. It's worth it. You get a whole lot more of the elements and assets to use. So, okay, let's go ahead and create a thumbnail. I'm going to go to custom size. They have a lot of social media presets in here that make it very easy. I'm going to go ahead and just do it from scratch. So width, I'm going to do 1920 by 1080. And create the new design. Okay. Now I decided that I wanted to do a chocolate chip cookie. So before we jump into this chocolate chip cookie design, I want to show you a little bit around. So this is my design. I have the option of templates. So over here, you have a bunch of different templates. If, say, I like this one, okay, this is an upgraded template. I see. Sorry, you've got to upgrade to use templates. So we're not going to be using templates. We're going to be using elements. And so as I want, we decided we want a chocolate chip cookie. I have graphics to choose from, photos to choose from, and videos to choose from. So you can do some video stuff in this as well. And there's even audio. Lots of capability in this program. Me being able to use it for thumbnails is just scratching the surface of what you can do with Canva. So, all right. So looking at this, I have a number of chocolate chip cookie pictures that I can use. The images that have a crown at the bottom right, these are part of the Pro subscription. And I can either upgrade to Pro or else I can buy a license to use this for $1. So let's go ahead and find one that does not have a crown just for today. And I am looking for one that had that little bit of melted chocolate chips. That's a Pro. A lot of Pro stuff on here. Gosh, that would have been perfect. And of course, they're going to have the best ones be in the Pro. But we are going to persist. Oh, that one would be perfect right here. I do not get to use this. I can remove the watermark if I go to Pro. But my goodness, that's the perfect one. Now, if I was really doing this, I would actually take a picture of my own chocolate chip cookie, set it up nicely, get a great picture, and I would upload it to Canva. You see over here, we've got the uploads. And so that's where you put your stuff. But since I don't have it because I'm just doing this as an example, I'm going to have to use their pictures. So, maybe I'll just use this one. It doesn't have to be, since this is just a demonstration. It's not terribly important that I get the absolute perfect one, but I do want to demonstrate. So let's go ahead and speed this up. All right, everybody, I found my chocolate chip cookie that I'm going to be using. This took a little while because the free options were sparse. So I do recommend upgrading and you'll get a lot of great pictures. So I'm going to go ahead and make this the size of my thumbnail because I want a focus in on those chocolate chips that are melted. In fact, we're going to make this bigger, just bigger. And then I'm going to give me a little bit of space to the side because I wanted to write chocolate ecstasy. So I'll go to text. I'm able to do simple text, or they give me all sorts of examples of stylized text. And once again, you've got that annoying little crown down there. So I think chocolate ecstasy needs to be a little bit done with a little bit of flourish. But remember, it has to be seen from high up and in a split second, so I'm not going to get too creative here. That one looks good. So I want to say chocolate ecstasy. You get kind of a brownie color. That's kind of like chocolate. And Canva has this nice thing where they pick out pictures that will go with the image that I've picked. So it's giving me the option of a number of browns that were picked from the image itself. So that's quite nice, especially for someone like me that really doesn't have a good sense of what colors go together or not. So chocolate ecstasy. All right, we're going to do that. And then I hit share, and then I am able to download this. I'm going to download this as a JPEG because that's an efficient file size. So I hit download, and I've got my thumbnail. And so you see how easy it was to create one of these thumbnails in a program like this. Obviously, with the free version, you're limited and you're not able to use all of the elements that are available here, but just try it out for free. There's enough here that you can get a sense for whether this program will work for you. It's browser-based and it's very easy to use. And so this is my thumbnail. I've got my title, and now I've got to work on my description, which will be as simple as this is the recipe that I've been using for years in my family. I'll give the recipe, and then if I have a website, I will send them to my website, and that's how I get them to go deeper into my sphere of influence, shall we say. That can be a website, a newsletter, though I would hesitate to send them to another social media platform unless that other social media platform is your main platform. If you've got their attention, you want them to go deeper into your ecosystem instead of being spread out across your ecosystem. Now, most of you who are starting your YouTube channel, this is the only thing you have, so you don't have to worry about sending them anywhere else. Just put that recipe down there, put whatever affiliate links for the ingredients you have, and leave them with the feeling that they've come to the right place for someone who's going to take care of them, who's going to serve them, and give them good stuff. Finally, in the description, I want to talk about something called chapters. You have the option of putting chapter markings in your description. And when you do that, your viewer can go in and decide where in the video they want to go. If you have a special section for what you're going to do if you are lactose intolerant. So maybe that's just a short, small part of your video, but if you have that as a chapter marking, people can go straight to that chapter marking. There's high-level debate as to whether you should do this or not, because if they go straight to that point, then they're not giving you all the watch hours. But I am always of the mindset that we're here to serve our audience. And the better you make that experience for them, the better you serve them, the more trust you develop and the stronger your community. And as I said at the beginning, my channel here is going to focus around building community. We'll talk about the strategy of getting watch hours from them, getting monetization and all of that. But that's the different thing about this channel. That is going to be a secondary aspect. The primary focus here is how to build a strong and healthy community for your niche interest. And so that is it for today. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm going to go see if I can find a chocolate chip cookie recipe. See you later.